Today was a great example on how to zoom out to read the full trend and not get induced into the wrong direction and see the full picture play out. Now, I want to go over step by step, literally, how we watched the candles this morning on stream to avoid some losing setups, but also put ourselves in some winning setups. Let's just go into the pre-market prep. This is a couple minutes before the open. What I'm seeing here on NQ, if you just look at it zoomed out, on the changeover of day, it's still more so bullish. You see yesterday's high was a bullish day. We did actually take it out. So we made a higher high overnight. That's pretty bullish. So it's going to take a little bit more information now to make me bearish. But even just these higher lows on the bottom. Yes, we spent some time below the overnight VWAP here from 6 p.m. Eastern. But we're still making higher lows on the bottom. If this moves for a new high, it's just going to look like the next higher high. So I don't want to be married to that bias heading into the open. But I am leaning a little bit more long, saying the shorts are going to be the tougher money. They're going to have to really convince me, and I'm going to have to probably miss the first short opportunity because I'm just not sold on it yet. But we know things can change here at the open, so let's just see what happens in the first minute. You can see the dashboard here on the bottom right, the indicator you guys can all get with the link down below or in my bio. Once 9:30 comes in, you'll see, all right, buyers are in, but we're not doing anything in the first 15 minutes anyways. But we want to maybe be looking for longs. It's our first opportunity, but the opening range just set. You can see also, if we go back to when the opening range, the first break of this New York here. Okay, opening range is set now. Here's our first take of New York VWAP. This is on NQ though. You can see on the bottom, all buyers in control like we had on the pre-market prep. So why not long this? You could. I don't like to trade this early on in the day. Another thing would be there's no breaks of the opening range. That opening range is this first 15 minutes, high and low. All of it is explained on ASFX TV, my full VWAP strategy. You can also get that for free where you tune into the live streams as well, all in one. So check that out down below. But you can see here on ES, it's now actually underneath its New York and overnight VWAP. So not fully bullish. You look at YM, same thing. It's not bullish either. So if I take a long here on NQ, should I expect just a lot of buyers to step in and move this higher with ease? On this typical setup, I don't know because there's not buyers just in across the market. So give a couple more minutes and see what we can find. We get back below, but then we get back above. Maybe we do want to long this. NQ is fully bullish. You can see it again. Buyers are fully in control above every single key view up that we're watching. So it's not a terrible setup here, but just getting the context of the whole entire market of saying, well, ES is actually bearish beneath two key view ups, and so is YM. So NQ might have a hard time just moving higher with the other two indices falling. And I don't need to go anywhere, confuse myself, flick back and forth between different charts to get that information. It's just simply telling me candle by candle down here on the bottom right. So we just let that go, but we're not taking the long or the short because I'm not going to short it into this VWAP, but it is telling me there might be a little bit more sellers to start here. And now we finally get that first break of opening range low. Now in Futures 2.0, like I mentioned, my full strategy, I don't want to chase the first break of opening range, let alone why I didn't like to trade before the first break back here, right? So that was a knock against that idea. This is now the first idea. It often doesn't run very far from here, induces a lot of amateurs to chase breakouts. So although it's showing a lot of sellers here at this moment, this probably isn't the time to click sell. I want to be short near the VWAP, just like I want to be long near VWAP. So we just let this do its thing. It makes a leg out and now pulls back quickly to the VWAP. It makes another leg lower. A couple people on stream did make money. I think it was like four candles right back up. Now the thing with this one is when it comes back to VWAP, we'll give it a couple minutes here. You'll see sellers clearly making these lower highs and lower lows. So the long idea didn't play out, but the shorts are still kind of working a little bit. But if we zoom it on out, did we really take out structure to the left? That higher low I was speaking about pre-market. So it's not that shorts cannot be in today, but they just still haven't fully convinced me because we didn't just crack lower. If I zoom out and say, if this doesn't move lower, would I be surprised or would I say, yep, since the changeover, this was just the next higher low? Now, there's no higher high in sight yet, right? There's no strength for me to say this is still going to be bullish, but that's fine. I don't need to jump into a long. I could just avoid the shorts if I'm not convinced on them. You don't need to be in a position or know where this wants to go. You could just be hesitant on one of the sides, aka stay flat. Wait for more information. Say, you know what? I see the shorts still working out. I don't want to miss them, but I want to just jump in too late or force my longs idea too early. So if this moves another leg lower, then you'll convince me of the shorts. I'm going to stop just ignoring the information that I'm getting, and I'll finally get involved. There's no shame in missing a couple ideas for more information and take a smarter trade down the road. And then we get a nice push back up. Now, could this be our lower high? Right? It's off the same view up. We've been bearish today, lower high from the start. Another lower high. Sellers are in today, so do I want to sell it back down from here? Like I said, the higher low, but now you look at the dashboard here on the bottom, and Q's fully bullish, YM's fully bullish, and ES has taken everything but its overnight, but it's back above its New York as well. So you kind of got some buying strength that's in line with my pre-market bias, the overall trend of structure, and ideally, like we were saying, you might have wanted to buy it back there as an idea. This is a lower buy price. So I get a now smarter stop loss at structure down here saying, yeah, if this isn't taken out, because we could pull back a little bit, make a higher low, and still move higher, I want to be long. So I kind of did think we would get that today. This was a nice, impressive 4 or 5 candles straight up. I kind of thought we would get a little bit push higher, pull back, higher low. Let's really move higher. But let's just say you get in long on the first break above New York and the overnight because everything is telling you buyers are in. If you were on stream, you probably know what happens. Or if you took this trade, just right up to the moon. You're out in 20 minutes. Have a good day. Out at the top of the range. You're trading from the bottom of range with stop loss at the bottom of structure. Trade to the high. Clean, easy, stress-free. You had to wait 30, 40, 50 minutes into the day to get it. But it's the same idea you potentially wanted to trade, right? So even another lesson going back to this first idea, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm just showing you how this indicator could hopefully save you some money by not jumping in too soon back here into a long. But even just goes to show if sometimes just trading that early on in the day is too early. You're saying, I love the longs. I want to be a buyer today. Yeah, you might be right, but it's 10 minutes into the day. It may be very early be trying to play that idea. They'd be better off waiting 30 minutes, get an even better price, less stressful trade, and you were still right on direction, right? So don't think that you have to play that idea out in the first 10 or 15 minutes because that's the worst when you take a loss in the right direction later on in the afternoon. But you look back now that we've broken that structure, you zoom out, say, yep, I don't know why I loved the short so much. It was still building higher lows. And the higher high finally came back in. So like I said, the shorts were definitely clear in the moment in terms of since the open. I like to just phrase it as, is it trending lower or are we just moving lower short term? I mean, since the open at 9:30 to 10:15, yes, for 45 minutes, it would been moving lower. But is that trending lower? No, trending lower would be breaking structure to the left, now creating lower highs and lower lows. Where as far as I see, this trend is still up. We're above this previous day's New York VWAP below us here in the light blue, which also paints on its own with this indicator as well. And we're above every valuary level. Everything is more so trending up. So I'm going to favor the longs until I get really strong bearish information, which we just didn't get past this first or second leg outside the opening range. So there was a couple money to be made in here, but if you shorted it, I just don't love it into that VWAP. There was a quick retest there that a couple people sniped on stream for like 4 or 5 point scalp or candle scalp. It's really not bad. Now, one other lesson I do want to go into real quick is just looking at the high of day VWAP break. Now, I do have a high day VWAP break in the Futures 2.0 strategy that I mentioned, which you guys all get free access to if you just go to ASFX TV. It's where we're live streaming every morning as well. But I was trading my top 1 futures accounts today, and I have one like $800 from payout and one still $1,200 from another $2,500 payout. So if you need an account with them, check the link down below. My code's always matching their best deal. But I'm not looking to force things away from VWAP if I'm close to a payout. Really, I don't ever want to force things, but especially when you're closer and closer to payout, where it's 2 or 3 trades at this point, I'm going to be even more picky. Wait for price to be close to VWAP. And this is not off the New York. So if you put on a high of day VWAP, anchored to the high of day, you can see we're nowhere near the blue New York like we were earlier, or even the overnight. So trend is there. We're above it. But I really want to find the key retest level to buy it off of that VWAP. So since it's not giving me that opportunity up here, I'm not going to play it on those accounts. But another thing just to look at real quick is if you took this first one, nothing really bad to say about it. You don't know the information yet. But now you look back on it, one break of the high of day VWAP couldn't really run for a new high. A second break. Is this a third break, a fourth break, right? Maybe a fifth break, a sixth break here. I think it even goes a little bit more before it really finds a little bit of extension, but still nothing crazy. Just the whole point being, when you see it fail to hold the high of day VWAP break and really push for a new high, that's not really showing a lot of strength. So when that next high of day VWAP break comes in, I'm not going to just be believing it of, oh, buyers are in. So yeah, they had tried that 6 other times to the left and it didn't work. So why should I believe this one? You're kind of just hoping you time it correctly, which is tough to do. So I wouldn't fall in love with the high day break when you see it struggle this much on this day. But there really is no clean trade over here rather than trying to snipe the bottom down here real quick, which I don't have a play for you. I know you could have used a handoff VWAP. A couple people had that on from the last time it touched New York. It bounced below it, break back above it. You could have been long here potentially, right? Handoff you up to New York. not a bad play. And then you're ignoring that high of VWAP. Just trade it back up to the highs. Clean trade there. Not too bad, not too bad. But hopefully you guys made some money today. Hopefully you guys see the value in this indicator down below. Just makes things simple. If it's not going to put me into a winning trade all the time, at least keep me out of a losing trade, which is like putting money in your pocket. So we love it either way. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out Stream and the indicator. Anything you guys need is always down below. And one quick last shout out. This was from Stream this morning. I didn't even shut it down. Just going through the chat. Everyone's seeing the longs today or ignoring the shorts, which is great. Michael got his first payout, up $60, up $700. I mean, you can read it here. $1,100, $4,300 on a 100K account, $200, $150 yesterday, made it back today, up $13K today, $494 to 2 accounts. It just keeps going on. Keeps going on. $250, $1,000, $460. So hopefully I'll see you guys on Stream. We'll take some good trades together, learn some lessons together, ask any questions that you got, put your W's in the chat, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on Stream tomorrow morning.